Good evening, everyone. Welcome to T is for Toddlers and Technology. My name is Charlene. Thank you for joining us tonight. I look forward to giving you some valuable information when it comes to using technology for your child. Just let me know if you have any questions in the chat, as Christina has stated. But let's go ahead and get started. Let me pull my screen up for you. And my background is that I have been teaching for Duval County Public School for 12 years. I have taught from kids age 1 to age 5. So I do know what it is to have a student or a toddler that is using technology in the classroom. I know there are some pros and some cons when it comes to whether a child should use technology or not, but I'm going to tell you right now, my experience with it for the last 12 years, it is very, very beneficial to your child to know how to use technology when they start school. Um, as I said, I've been doing this for 12 years, so I've seen the ins and outs of it. Let's get started. For T is for technology. Let's see if I can find. At the end of the course, there is going to be some pop quiz. Nothing to really get scared about. It's everything that you are learning as we go forward. Now, if you look at the screen, you can also unmute if you need to answer this question. T is for technology. At the district, we want you to be comfortable with teaching your kids how to use technology, and we want you to also build your foundation with your child. Learn how to communicate with your child. So if you look at these two pictures, which one of these do you think we're not talking about? Is it the little baby with a cell phone and a laptop looking like he's working a 9 to 5? Or is it the dad with his iPad and his child teaching a lesson? So if you said the one that we're not talking about is the baby who looks like he's very stressed trying to get his work done, yes, we want you to be comfortable with your technology that you're going to teach lessons to your toddler. So we don't want you stressed out. We want you to do exactly what this dad is doing. And what he's doing, he's building a foundation. He's building a way to communicate with his child. So that's what we want you to do. Communicate, build relationships with your child using your technology, and also getting them ready for their education pathway. The objective of this course is to teach you ideas and activities and information on how to use technology for your toddlers. We want to also provide you with skills and lessons on how to get ready for blended learning programs, and also how to use the DCPS technology that you can purchase and use at home. Using technology as a learning tool, it's not just a cool new thing, it is the way that the future is going right now. As you need to know, you are your child's first teacher. If anything that we have gone through in the last couple of years is the pandemic, and the pandemic has taught us that parents are their child's first teacher. And during the pandemic, you've also learned that technology was extremely important in providing education. Teachers had to do it, parents had to do it, everybody had to get involved in virtual learning. So technology is never going to replace teachers. It's definitely not. It is something to help us move on. It's another tool to help us teach our kids. Yes, there is pros and cons when it comes to whether or not technology is too much for a child to have. Is it too much computer time, too much iPad time? That is some of the cons when it comes to it. But the pros outshine the cons. You must always think that when it comes to how long my child is actually taking time to be on the laptop to learn a lesson, how long are they doing the app? That comes to the parents. The parents are the ones who control that. So I would say it is an hour before bedtime, no internet. Take that time as your personal time to communicate with your child. When you set limits, technology does not overtake your child where they get addicted to it. We want them to think positive when it's learning through technology. So there are 10 benefits of exposing your youngsters to technology. 10 wonderful benefits that I'm going to share with you tonight. First, number one, it fosters hand-eye coordination. Through engaging applications, children can develop their hand and eye coordination. This occurs when children visually follow an object on the screen and actively participate in the activity the application presents. On my next picture, you are going to see this little girl, and she has an iPad. And plenty of you guys have iPads at home and you have apps on them. Well, she is learning how to write the letter K. But if you pay attention to the picture, you see that she's demonstrated how to write the letter K. Her eyes are concentrated on the letter. Her fingers are concentrated on the letter. This seems like something that's simple. As an adult, we would be able to do. But as a child, you practice. And what she's learning how to do is to practice. And what is the next step she has to do in order to accomplish writing this letter? So hand and eye coordination is a skill that is something they learn through technology. And this is something that they take from doing on the iPad to go into paper and pencil. And this is what we want them to learn how to do. Number two, improving language skills. By reading ebook or accessing stories online, children can learn new words and proper ways to pronounce them. Stories online is something that I do a lot in my classroom when I used to teach because it brought stories alive. And when we used to have like the big smart TVs, this kids could come up and they could actually read the stories. Even though some of them did not know how to read yet, they could follow along the stories. The stories came alive to them. They would see the sentences, they could take their fingers and they could follow along the sentences. So this is something that we want you to do. Get an iPad, pull up a story, have your child sit there as you're listening to the story or you're interacting or reading the story to them. Have them follow along the words. So this is also their hands and eye coordination, but it's also building their emergent literacy skills. So this is something that even if they don't know how to read, it is getting them ready to read. As you look, here's an example of it. This little boy has his story up on his iPad and he's sharing it with his friend. But as you see, the story came to life for him. He's following along the story with his fingers. And ebooks are wonderful, stories online are wonderful, but it's also something if he saw this and he did it at home on his tablet, and then he goes to school and he sees this story, he can also follow along and read it better because this is something that he's already done at home. So this is what we want when we say technology. Bring technology home, take the time with your kids, have them follow along a story, and later on he'll be able to just do this by himself and probably mute it and read the story to you. Number three, promote school readiness and cognitive development. Many developmental appropriate computer programs and apps increase a child's readiness to learn reading and math. Technology can provide basic skills in which children must have competency in order to be successful in school. I have used ABC Mouse in my classroom before. I've used Star Falls in my classroom before. And through these, they've also learned how to read and how to do their math. Not every child is a pen and paper. A lot of kids are visual and audio. So seeing something on a tablet or on the computer is a way for them to get another skill to learn how to accomplish a math problem. These games that the apps provide, it also walks them through each lesson. So you want your child to be able to know the difference between a circle and a triangle. The apps gives them different angles to look for this. You might see something as very easy for you, but it's something where the child is learning. Each app that they learn, each different programs that they go to will teach them reading and math. So when they come to school, they're already prepared for it. They already know what we mean when we say, oh, here's the mouse, use the mouse to click on the apple, add the apples together. They've already know how to do this and take their fingers, move things around, get their equals. Apps helps the kids when it comes to technology and to school. And here is an example of how it's done in a classroom. These kids are doing 10 frames. So what they're doing is they're counting their circles and then they find the numbers. This is something that they can do at home on an app, ABC Mouse, ABC Yeah. There's all these different kind of apps out there that can help your kids. This is what we want them to be able to do. And this is something that they will learn as toddlers, doing their technology at home with you. So when they come to school, they're already prepared. We can always move them to the next level. This is not something that you would have to go over again. Number 4, we want them to have visual attention. It builds their visual attention. When it says gaming and learning application equipment, children to pay more attention to details in order to complete activities. For example, in role-playing games, the players pick a character in order to play. Yes, it seems like they're just playing a video game, but what they're actually learning how to do is to pay attention because they want to be able to reach the next level. In order to reach the next level, you have to be able to follow instruction. And that is a word you're going to hear in school a lot. Follow instructions. It gets them to be able to be organized. Video games help them to achieve their goals that they want. And if you've ever seen a child get to the next level in any educational apps that they do, it is the biggest smile they have on their face when they know they have accomplished something. So this is what we want them to be able to do, be able to visually pay attention. And when it comes to testing, the games and the apps that they do at home, when they're in front of a computer and they're taking a test, this helps to build their skills so they are ready for it. They know exactly what to do. They know how to move their mouse around. They know how to pay attention to the questions that are given to them. So as they grow and they learn, this is technology will help to build their visual skills. And this is what we need and for them to be ready for preschool, kindergarten on up, especially kindergarten, because a lot of this starts with them with their testing. And if they are able to pay attention to what comes next in a story, what comes next in a math problem, what it is that they're doing on a computer, they are going to be outstanding and can always be pushed to the next level. Number 5, enhance social interaction skills. Now, some experts would say having the computer at home or the technology at home is taken away. It actually does not take away. It actually builds their social skills when it comes to problem solving, when it comes to interacting with their peers. As children develop their language skills, they're able to observe ideas that equip them with skills necessary in relating with other people. As you see, I have the pictures of the kids. This child accomplished writing a word dog. This little girl recognized the letter R. These kids are interacting with each other. And as the previous one says, when they reach their goals, they're super excited. They want to share it with you. They want to be motivated. And that's what we want technology to do. We want technology to motivate them. We want technology to educate them. But at the same time, we want it to be fun. And it helps them to be creative. It helps them to build their social skills with their peers and their skills with you. Because if they accomplish something on their iPads and then at home, they're most likely to come and share it with you. And that is your time to rejoice and reward them and just let them know just how proud you are of their educational goals that they have reached. Increase motivation to complete tasks. Many apps and computers activities are created to encourage children to complete a level in order to unlock the next level. These learning games may help create a foundation for children to keep on trying and overcome challenges even outside the screen setting. One thing that I've noticed with my students is that the ones who are shy, who don't always want to be seen, if I put them on a computer and I give them an app or a lesson to do and they're able to accomplish it, they their joy to come to school, their inspiration to come to school or to learn the next step is overwhelming. They're always, I'll be like, Miss Talbert, what do I do next? What do I do next? Give me more, give me more, give me more. And that's what you want to do. You want the games to be fun. You want it help to build a foundation to keep them going and keep them trying. It helps to bring their social emotional skills. This is something that is anybody would benefit when they know that they've accomplished something. So we want to increase their motivation to complete a task because then that will make someone to keep going to the next level. Dynamic spatial skills. Games and educational contents allow children to develop dynamic and spatial skills through interactive screen time. Through technology, children can learn how big a building may compare to a cat or how small an ant may be compared to a dog. These skills will develop their understanding for the world around them. When it comes to spatial skills, I've noticed that if you ever notice you give a child a puzzle, and if you ever see them take the puzzle piece and they're trying to figure out how to put that puzzle piece together, it might take them a while. But it's the same thing as if they were doing it on an iPad. They've learned to take their fingers and they're going to keep moving it around and they're going to keep moving around until they figure out how it is to get it in there. So it helps them to build their skills, do problem solving, learn how to figure out things, because we want to know what piece is going to go where. How do I fit through this door? If I put this block here, will it help me build a robot? When they learn how to function, how to think for themselves with technology, they can think it and they can see it. And that's what we want. So if you're doing a puzzle on the computer and then you do a puzzle at home, it's a little bit easier for you to figure it out. Number 8, develop problem-solving skills. Research shows that younger children are more interested in short-term goals of games, which are essential in problem-solving. When playing a game, children often wonder which step comes next or what effects maybe should they present a particular action in the game. This is helpful for learning, especially in math and logical reasoning. Now, if this is something that your toddler can learn how to do at 2 and 3, this is wonderful for getting them ready for school, because problem solving is probably one of the hardest things they have to learn when it comes to math, because you really have to be able to think through the math problem. What comes next? What do I need to do to solve this problem? So if this is a skill that they can learn from a learning app on the iPad with you at home as their teacher, this would help them when it comes to testing. This would help them when it comes to homework. This would help them when it comes to reaching their goals in the classroom. And number 9, expands our horizon. Technology exposes children to things they can't see every day. With technology, children can access multimedia presentation of different types of animals, cultures, peoples, events, or even various places around the world. Now, we did a lot of virtual classrooms when we did virtual zoo. The kids learned what it was like to see zoo in other countries. They got to see different animals. You won't believe not knowing what a koala is, or difference between an alligator and a crocodile. Virtual, being able to have your child travel to a virtual zoo is something that opens up different cultures for them. Being able to see where Africa is, where China is, learning about different cultures and different people. Technology can bring you so many different places. So this is something that you can sit at home and do with them. Let's see what the weather is like over in Bali. Let's see what the weather is like in Michigan. Because some living in Florida, we don't all get to see snow. So we're using your technology. Let's see what the weatherman is doing. Another way to learn about different jobs. Brightening their horizon gives them a chance to learn about different things. They learn about space. They can learn about plants. They can learn about animals. I know I like to bring real life lessons. So sometimes when I'm teaching a lesson, I will read a book to them. But the next day, after I've read the book to them, I also like to bring it up on the TV, on the computer, so they can interact with it, especially when it's a program an app where they can interact and be able to see space. Because it's one thing to talk about it, but when you can visually see it and see what happens and see the planets and see the stars, you will see your child light up. That's where the ebooks come in. That's where the storytime books come in at. Anything that expands their horizon outside of what they normally know. And number 10, develop skills and talent. Interactive media can be used to explore a child's talent. You will not believe how talented your child can be sometimes when you see them, especially when some of the apps, they have it where they accomplish their goals. I know Star Falls is good for it. When they finish something, they'll have like the letter A, dancing, and next thing you know, you see your child dancing around. They're all excited. And before you know it, you're like, wait, they can sing. They can really sing. Or they have an app that shows them how to dance or how to do gymnastics, and you see them doing flips and things. So the technology brings real life experience for them. It's not something for them just to stay at home and be a babysitter. That's not what we mean. We want you to take your time as a parent, take the 15, 20 minutes a day, do an educational app with your child, teach them, and see what it is and see how the foundations are and the skills are building and getting them ready for school. Any questions or comments? Okay, more active screen time will lessen physical activity. You can go ahead and unmute if you know the answer to this one. More active screen time will lessen physical activity. So if you said false, you are right. Actually, technology kind of makes your child more active because they do move around a lot more, especially if they're doing an app like Go Noodle. Go Noodle is a great app for them to go on because they have physical activities that they can do. They call brain breakers, and they go on there. They're doing yoga. They are racing against the Olympics. So they teach them how to do volleyball. There's all different kinds of things that physically that they do, and they move around. Video games have no educational value. Yes, it is false. Video games do have educational values. They do teach your child how to have control, and they help them with the visual attention. So it also helps them to accomplish goals, what steps they need to take next in order to reach those goals, and it helps them with problem solving. Electronic media impedes the development of emergent literacy skills. So when we're thinking about emergent literacy skills, we're thinking about reading, writing. Does that keep them from being able to do, learning how to do that? Is that going to hinder their ability to learn how to read and write?
We have someone with a comment. It says, sometimes video games cause frustration, though.
Okay, so that's why we always want them to do the educational video games, and that we encourage you, because they are toddlers, to be there with them. So you're helping them walk through the process of the lesson. So they're just not doing it by themselves. When it comes for toddlers, we don't want the kids working by themselves necessarily. We want the parent to be there with them, to encourage them, to help them, give them little hints on what it is that they should be doing. And if you see them getting frustrated, that's the time to let's take a break. We can come back later on and do this, or we can come and do it tomorrow. Technology is not always just about the video game part of it, but it's also building a relationship with your child. So if your answer for this was false, you are right. Electronics does not hinder your child's emergent literacy skills. Actually, because of story time books that are available, it actually builds on it. It helps them to do picture walks. It helps them with their sight words. It helps them to learn how to read sentences. And it, once again, it helps them to where they build relationship with you, and it brings real life information to them. Technology weakens the social skills of children. Does that happen? Does technology weaken the social skills of children? And I know there is some pros and cons for that, but what I have seen in my classroom when it comes to technology and social skills is it builds confidence in kids, normally the ones who shy away. I've used my smart TV with them, and I've also bring apps with them. The kids who are the shy ones, those are the ones who I try to let them have a moment to shine. They will come up, they will do a program. Next you know, they're getting cheers. And when the next day comes and it's somebody else's turn, I'll notice the shy child is the one that has their hand up because they want to get involved. They want to build, they want their social skills, they want to interact with the other kids. So to me, the answer is false. Technology does not weaken their social skills. It actually builds more confidence for the children. Technology snaps out children's creativity. Does it keep them from being creative? False. Technology does not hinder your child's creativity. Technology takes away the best educational experience that can be gained from play. Okay, so we're saying false. Okay, so yes, you are right. It is false. Now, when it says technology takes away the best educational experience of a child that can be gained from play, this is where you come in at. Now, if you see an app where some of the apps that you're going to learn about, like Vroom.org, Vroom actually, where you can go in and they can give you many tips to do with your child. So that's a form of technology that comes to life. They will say something like, this week we want you to learn about body parts. And you can take that and incorporate it in your house however you feel like it. So this is where play would come in at. I want to teach my child about body parts. So we can do head, shoulders, knees, and toes, where your child runs around the room at their brothers and sisters, at their dad, at their mom. This is your head, this is your nose, these are your fingers. You can make anything when it comes to that. Technology is just not just walking around with the iPads. You learn from the different apps. They put real life situations out there for you to interact with your child. These are the websites that I was talking about. So the first one is Vroom, which is www.vroom.org. This one is free. And once again, as I say, once you go on there and you fill it out, if you don't want to fill out the application and put all your personal information, put all your child's information, you don't have to. You can go ahead and put in what it is you want. Their app is private. Now, they have it where you can get tips every week. You can get science tips, you can get math tips, you can get social emotional tips. This is a way for you to build your relationship with your child in your house, and also just a way to not just have it be at home, but also bring technology outside the home. PBS Kids is not just videos. It actually has games on there, interactive games for your child to play, where it is they're learning, they're building their academic skills. I use PBS Kids in my classroom. My kids love it. It also has parts of the sites where you can print off stuff for them. I know on ABC Mouse, you can print, like if you want them to learn how to write their names, you can go ahead, type in their name, their first and last name. You can print the little worksheet. That's something you can do at home. If your child's not ready for paper and pencil yet, what I've done is print the names out, get some Play-Doh, and have them sit there with your child and do the Play-Doh and make the letters out in their names. So they're also using their hand, their eye coordination for that. That's not just something that you do on the computer. You bring it to real life. It has math skills on there. So if you want to learn how to count money, you can do that at home. ABC Yeah goes from preschool all the way up to the upper grades. That's another wonderful tools that I've seen in the school system that they do use. The kids, if they're not doing iReady, this is another app that they can use. ABC Yeah is free for them to use. You just have to sign up for it. Some of these do have a year's membership, like ABC Mouse does have a membership fee. I believe it's about either $24.99. It depends on what package that you get. ABC Mouse covers literacy. All these basically covers literacy. It covers math. It covers science. You want apps that's gonna get your child ready for school. You want them something that's gonna help them learn how to build their problem solving skills. You want anything that's more academic for them, that you can take the time out of your day to sit with them for that 15 to 20 minutes. I would say if you're using learning apps at home, do not have it where there's not a limit when it comes to the time, because that's when you don't want it to be where it's like I said, more of a babysitter than being academics. We want your child to be able to learn from what it is that they're doing on the app, but we want you to also be able to interact with them and help them learn, because you are your child's first teacher. This is something very important. That's why I keep saying it. They look to you as role models. If you're teaching them how to do a game, how to get to the next level, how to accomplish something, when they go to school, this is something that they're going to remember. Oh, I already know how to do this. I already know this story. I already know how to write my name. Anything that you can do at home when it comes to technology to get them ready for school, I would say start it now. Because if you look, you see where our future is heading. Um, it is becoming a technology base. And if your child is already at that skill, when I've noticed that the students that come to me, when we do get iPads for them and they are learning, they do a time frame in the school. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. If you have older kids, you know they're doing their iReady. But if your toddler is already learning how to do touch screen, or they already know how to use a mouse, they're already a step ahead of the other kids. They're already a step ahead of that teacher being able to move them to the next level. And that's what we want. So if you do not have iPads at home, you don't have laptops at home, the school district does have a purchasing website where you can purchase the equipment for, I believe it's half off, it's 50%. So if you create a account on OneView, you can have the chance to purchase one of these. Let's see. It gives you the full steps on how to do it. You log on to the DCPS website, which is www.duvalschools.org. You go to the popular link. You go to OneView. You go to parents or guardian or partners. Select I don't have a DCPS account, and then you go ahead and you create one. Once you create this account, it will allow you to access the district resources, including the gradebook. And the online gradebook is called Focus. You will need your child's student ID number, and this will give you the chance where you can purchase an item for your child for school. This is something that came in very handy to parents that when we had to go virtual, they already had the computers at home. They already had the modem. They already knew their child's student ID number. They already knew how to access everything to go onto Teams and to learn how to get their classes. So if you can, I would suggest that you do purchase one of the school laptops so that your child has something to practice on already to get them ready. All computers are 50% off for the parents. You must register one computer per child for the household. Purchases must be made online through the parent portal account. And let's see, computers have a 90-day warranty. Their MacBooks, their Mac Pro, their iMac, and their Lenovo's T420s. So does anybody have any questions or comments? The kids are ready for technology. Let me tell you, And if they're ready for technology, don't hold them back. Give them the tools that they need to learn the skills that get them ready for school. Thank you so much.